Merci, c'est un grand honneur.
Merci.
Merci.
Thank you.
Merci, c'est un grand honneur pour moi.
Thank you. It is a great honor for me, for Ukraine, and for our people.
Mesdames et messieurs les sénateurs,
Ladies and gentlemen,
mesdames et
senators,
messieurs les parlementaires,
members of parliament,
le peuple
elected officials
français,
from Paris, the city of Paris, and the people of France.
d'avoir,
I
l'honneur de
am
m'adresser à vous
grateful
aujourd'hui.
for this honor to speak to you today.
Que vous savez très bien ce qui se
I am
passe en
sure
Ukraine.
that you are well aware of what is happening in Ukraine. You know why it is happening,
Vous savez qui est coupable.
and you know who is guilty.
Même ceux qui cachent la tête dans le
And
sable,
even those who prefer to hide their heads in the sand,
l'argent en Russie,
even those who are trying to get money out of Ukraine, cannot deny what is happening. I am addressing you. You are rational, honest people,
poser une question.
and I'd like to ask you a question. How can we stop this war? How can we bring about peace in
La
Ukraine?
plupart
Because
des questions et des réponses sont
most
dans
of the
vos mains.
answers are in your hands, in our hands collectively. On the 9th of March,
Les bombes aériennes russes
Russian bombs
lancées sur l'hôpital pour les enfants
fell
et
on the
maternités dans notre ville de
pediatric
Mariupol.
hospital and the maternity hospital
Paisible dans le sud de l'Ukraine.
in a quiet city in southern Ukraine,
Les troupes russes ont
quiet
survenu
until the Russian forces invaded.
dans un siège brutal comme au
It is
Moyen Âge,
now in a brutal siege, as if it were the Middle Ages.
à tuer les gens.
They have begun
Cette
to
maternité,
kill people. They've killed people
Russes ont
in the
lancé
maternity
des bombes.
hospital.
Il y avait des gens, il y avait des femmes
There were
qui se
women
préparaient à accoucher.
who were about to
Et
give
la plupart
birth.
d'entre eux ont survécu, mais certaines ont été
Many of
gravement
them
blessées.
survived, but many were seriously wounded.
A dû amputer son pied.
One woman had her foot
fracturé. Et une
amputated.
autre femme avait un bassin fracturé et son
Another
bébé est
woman
mort avant
had a
la
fractured
naissance. La femme,
pelvis and her
on essayait de
infant
sauver
died
la
at birth.
femme. Elle demandait les médecins de laisser mourir.
Some
Pas l'aider.
women were asking for the doctors to let them die
Elle ne voyait pas de raison pour vivre.
because they couldn't see why it would be worth to stay alive. There was the case of a woman who died
2022,
with these regretful
des
words on
centaines
her
de
lips.
millions de personnes ne peuvent pas penser que le monde pouvait être détruit.
I think that around Europe,
Et, je vous demande
many people find it hard to believe that a whole world could be destroyed in this way. So I'd like to ask for a minute of silence for the thousands of Ukrainian men and women and children who have been killed following the Russian invasion.
Merci.
Thank you.
Après des semaines d'invasion russe,
Weeks after the beginning of the Russian invasion, Mariupol and other Ukrainian cities now look like the ruins at Verdun after the battle held there in the First World War. I think all of you are well aware of these images. The Russian army makes no distinction between different types of targets. They hit residential districts, hospitals, schools. They burn down warehouses full of food and medicine. They don't take any account of war crimes. They have brought terror to the Ukrainian land. You have all of the information. You know what the facts are with regard to women who have been raped by Russian soldiers in the occupied areas. Refugees killed on the road. Journalists have been targeted and killed. We're talking about people who survived the Holocaust and now must flee or hide in bomb shelters. Europe has not seen anything like this for decades. People are in despair. Some of them are begging to die. In 2019, when I became president, we had a negotiation format. It was the Normandy format. It was to bring about an end to the conflict in the Donbass, in the east of Ukraine. This has been going on for 8 years, unfortunately. 4 states participated in the Normandy format: Germany, France, Russia, and Ukraine. We studied all the different positions. Some tried to delay the process. But it seemed important that we continue to negotiate nonetheless, despite the fact that Russia was dragging its feet. When we did get some results, when we were able to free prisoners who had been taken captive, when we were able to negotiate some outcomes in 2019, it was like a big bowl of oxygen. It was a ray of hope for us. We thought that the leaders of Russia could be persuaded by diplomacy to choose peace. But on the 24th of February, we saw what Russia was really prepared to do. The very concept of dialogue was completely ignored. Russian missiles, Russian artillery, Russian shells began raining down on Ukraine. It is important to look for the truth, and we find the truth in the battlefield. What is left to us? Our values, unity, our determination to defend our freedom, to defend our joint liberty. This is true in Paris, in Kyiv, in Warsaw, in Berlin, in Rome, in Brussels, in Bratislava, everywhere. But we need more than just oxygen. We need to act together. We need to put pressure on Russia together to force them to seek peace. Ladies and gentlemen, people of France, on the 24th of February, the Ukrainian people unified. We are no longer on the right or on the left. We are together. We are no longer the majority and the minority. We are all working for peace. We want to protect our country. We are grateful to France for their help. We are grateful for all the efforts deployed by President Macron and his constant communication efforts. The Ukrainians have seen that France is also thirsty for truth and wants to protect it. You speak of liberté, égalité, fraternité. Each of those words is very important to you. And Ukrainians believe in this too. And we are expecting that your leadership will help encourage Russia to seek peace, to put an end to this war against liberty, equality, and brotherhood. Everything that has brought Europe together as a united Europe and a free Europe, a diversified Europe. We are waiting for France's leadership for the restoration of Ukraine's territorial integrity. We can do this together. And if any of you have any doubts, I can tell you that your people do not have any doubts, nor do any of the other peoples of Europe. And during the French presidency of the EU, I think that a well-thought-out decision will be made with regard to the EU and Ukraine. It will be a historic decision. France has always been present at great moments of history in Europe. Ladies and gentlemen, people of France, tomorrow it will be 1 month since the Ukrainians have been fighting for their life and their freedom. We've been fighting heroically against the superior forces of Russia. We need more help. We need more support so that we don't lose our freedom. We need weapons to fight against tanks. We need air defense in order to keep our liberty alive. We need these arms, and we need stronger sanctions. French companies should leave the Russian marketplace. Renault, Leroy Merlin, Auchan, and others have left. These companies must stop sponsoring the murder of innocent women and children. Everyone should remember that values are more important than profits. Humans are more important than profits. And as we look towards the future and how we will live after the war, we need guarantees for our security. We need securities that wars will no longer be possible in this world. We need to create a new system of security and guarantees where France will have a leading role so that no one will ever again have to cry over fallen women and children and refugees, so that everyone can live their lives and not under the rain of bombs and shells, but in peace, in dignity, because we must live and be respected. And I say goodbye the way that Belmondo used to say goodbye. Ciao.